Hello and welcome to the review of the Pagani Design PD1662 GMT. And this is an obvious homage to the Rolex GMT Master 2. And this watch comes with the classic Pagani Design cardboard box. Nothing special here. And here's the watch. You will get a Pagani Design hand tag, a warranty card, of course not signed, and you will get an instruction manual. And of course, the only interesting thing here, the watch itself. And as you can see, you have a lot of protective plastic. You even have plastic around the case to protect the flanks of the case. And you have plastic pretty much all over, as you can see, to protect the clasp and everything. And they have very nicely indicated how to take off that plastic with these little arrows in here. So let's start with the dimensions. You have a 40mm diameter by 14mm in height by 47mm in lug to lug and 20mm in lug width. The bracelet tapers from 20 to 16 and back at 17 at the clasp. So let's take all that plastic off and I'll be right back. And as you can see, it's a black dial, a black glossy dial. The indices are applied, and as you can see on top of the dial, you have the Pagani Design logo with the Pagani Design text. And I don't know why, an explorer right under the Pagani Design branding. And the bottom half of the dial, you have a blue GMT text that is not that legible against the black dial, but it matches the blue hand and of course the blue bottom half of the bezel insert. On the GMT, an automatic, water resistant to 100 meters, and of course a Japan movement at the extreme bottom of the dial. And by the way, that is a lie, because this is not a Japanese movement. This is a Chinese movement, but we'll talk about that later. And of course, this watch comes with a sapphire crystal, and even the Cyclops is sapphire. Okay, so now about the bezel. So the bezel is a GMT bezel. It's ceramic, and it copies the style of the GMT Master Batman. However, where it differs is that this bezel is just unidirectional. It's 60 click. And I must say that the action is pretty good. There's a small bit of back play. It feels pretty solid, actually. It's a bit better than the one on the 43mm Pagani Design Submariner homage. Let's talk about the case. The case is a super case, like on the original. The sides are polished and it's brushed on the front of the lugs. As you can see, the crown is signed with the Pagani Design logo, and the bracelet is a copy of the original with the middle polished links and the outer brushed links. The bracelet is made of solid links, solid end links, and you've got screws holding those links. And the clasp is also a copy of the original, and a pretty good copy at that. It is signed Pagani Design and it is fully milled. And all the pieces here are made of chunky metal. And you even have a copy of the EasyLink, and that will give you about a 5mm extension. And the movement is a Pearl DG5833 GMT. And as you can see, the rotor is pretty well decorated with those sun rays, and it is signed Pagani Design. The movement has some blued screws, which is very nice for the price point. We will check on the accuracy of this movement later. The other bonus is that this watch has 100 meters of water resistance, which is good for swimming with it. Okay, and here's a Lume video, and as you can see, nothing exceptional. I would have liked for that bezel, for the 24-hour bezel insert to be lumed as well, but at this price point, you cannot fault that. And I know it's an unfair comparison, but here is a Lume on my Omega Seamaster 300. And before you say anything, remember that the watch on the left costs 50 times more than the watch on the right. So let's talk about that movement. And the movement is sold as a pearl, but it's actually a Mingzhu movement. And the model is a DG5833 GMT. The movement hacks and hand winds, and of course it has a GMT functionality, and that GMT hand is totally independent. As you can see, the accuracy is pretty good, although it's a bit variable now. As you can see, it goes from +7 to 0, etc. The bit error is a bit high, and I actually couldn't find any more information, the joule count or the stated accuracy of this movement. So if you know something, please do let me know. The screws are blued, but the plates don't have any kind of decoration. What are the likes and the less likes of this watch? And let's start by the likes. The design is great, and that is not thanks to Pagani Design, but Rolex. The accuracy of that movement seems good. The overall quality is, as usual, very good with Pagani Design for the price, of course. Also the fact that you have a pretty good construction, sapphire crystal, a ceramic bezel insert, and a fully stainless steel construction is very good for the price point. Also the bracelet, which has solid links, solid end links, and screwed links, and the clasp that is very sturdy and does a pretty good impression of the actual Rolex. What did I like less? Well, of course, Lume is pretty weak, but we've gotten used to that for Chinese watches under 100 euros. On my unit, the unscrewing action is very tight, so I have a lot of trouble screwing in. As you can see, it appears stuck there. Yeah, and that is a QC issue, sadly. And there are other QC issues on the bezel insert. Some numbers are not that well defined, and there are some rough edges around some of them. So that is all for the unboxing and first impressions. I'm gonna be wearing this watch for a while, and I'll be coming back with a definite longer review. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And there's also a link to this watch on AliExpress. If this is a watch that you would like to experience for yourself, don't hesitate to use that affiliate link. It does help the channel. So thank you very much. So thanks again, have a great day, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.